play the hits. How do you get this team back on track?
No secrets. Just get our butts back to work. The will, the want to, the mindset is the most important part. There's no tricks. There's no special drill. There's no special play. And I've said this going into the year. I have a locker room full of guys that when you're going to hit tough stretches, that is part of this. It doesn't make it fun, but it's part of it. You're going to hit a tough stretch in this league. Everybody in this league is going to hit that. It's part of college basketball. It's part of like high level competition. Going into the year, I went, when we do, we're going to be okay because of who I have in the locker room, because of the character of those kids. Everybody says I got good kids. Like, no, I got high character guys that are bought into this place in our program, and they want to win. And so that mindset's the most important, and I believe that's what's going on with our guys and certainly with our staff.
How did they respond yesterday? And then a comment you made a while back was John Newman's not coming through that door. Who can be that guy for you, or can it be multiple?
We didn't get back until 1 or 2 yesterday afternoon from Waco. This has nothing to do with winning and losing. I'm just, we didn't get there until 1 or 2 in the morning the night before the game because of flight complications, and then had a problem with the plane after the game. We got to the tarmac and we couldn't board the plane. They had to get a new plane, so we slept in Waco and then couldn't leave until a certain time that morning. So we had to be off a day this week anyway per NCAA rules. So yesterday was our off day. So today's the day that we get back to work. They've all had a strength conditioning workout this morning and a skill workout, and had some film sessions with some guys. And again, this isn't news to anybody that knows our program and knows our players, but the will, the want, the mindset, I believe it's where it needs to be today. I believe it'll continue to be where it needs to be, regardless of the results and circumstances. This team has the right stuff, the right internal stuff, and the right internal fortitude. We'll figure it out.
How does a time like this challenge your competitive nature and just wanting to get this back on track and wanting to get your team to play this to the standard that you've set for the program?
Yeah, it's what you live for as a competitor. Okay, like nobody wants to lose 3 games in a row and start in league 0-3, but you want to do great things. Right, you want to build a great program. You want to build sustainable success and championship level play. You don't get there the easy way. Like nothing comes that easy, and sometimes you got to go through. Actually, everybody that achieves anything individually as a team, you have to go through difficult moments and speed bumps and hurdles in order to do the things you have to do to become who you're trying to become. These things are inevitable. So my fire burns in these moments. Yeah, I'd like to say that as a competitor, it burns every day. As a leader, it burns every day, but it burns brightest when things are at their most difficult times.
You guys are ranking in the bottom 100 in tempo right now, just tempo. Is there, are you looking to run more, get out more in transition? And if so, are you hammering that more this week in practice?
We're looking for higher quality shots, and we're looking to convert more. If there's opportunities in transition, we need to convert those better. We don't need to force bad shots in transition. We're not a team that walks the ball up the floor, so trying to get easier baskets in the open floor is felt important, preparing for this year, working throughout the season. We need to get more of that. Once we get into the half court, it's not about how quick we shoot it. It's about the quality of the shot. And, as we're really evaluating some of our offensive performances, there's possessions that are good possessions where you get a high quality of shot and we're not converting. There's not enough of them. There's possessions that could be really good possessions and we're probably not making just the the simple decision to make it a good possession. There's possessions that are just bad possessions for failure to execute, or not being in the right place, or making a turning the ball over and things of that nature. So there's a little bit of all that, and it compounds on itself. Pace of play. It's important to me that we use transition to get easy baskets, and you got to get easy baskets. Where we rank in terms of the length of possession, which I think is what you're referring to, that's pretty irrelevant to me, but we do want to use transition offense for easy baskets.
The defense has been very good all season. What, when you got a chance to look at the tape, went wrong against Baylor? It felt like they got to where they wanted to get, and that hasn't been the case all year.
That's probably the most discouraging part. We've been able to rely on that, and that's an identity that this team has created. Certainly, it's an identity of this place and this program, and we've said that from day one. But this team has tried to carve out an identity there, and had some moments where that's real. In terms of how they practice, that's real. Didn't feel that. Didn't feel that at Kansas State. Didn't feel that in the first half against Arizona. Didn't feel that against Baylor on the road. And we got to get back to that. And not just defense per se, but the things that, the toughness, the controllable things you can do that we have the ability to do. We got to do that every night, and we got to do that for 40 minutes. You don't want to talk specifics. Our transition defense was atrocious. There's some scenarios where they're switching, and their 5-man right is up on the perimeter guarding a guard when a shot goes up, and then they're leaking out with the 5, and so some of it structurally there's some explanation for it if you really break it down, but at the end of the day, that's an excuse. We got to give an effort to get back, and we've shown that we can do that. We've shown we can be an elite transition defensive team. We were not, so that was the first thing. And you start spotting points in the open court just off pitch ahead layups. I thought our ability to defend the basketball was as poor as it's been over the course of 40 minutes. You got to give Baylor credit. They have terrific guard play. They spread you out and just kind of drive you. It certainly Scott runs good stuff, but it's not complex in nature as much as they got 4 guys on the floor that can deck it, and they touch the paint in a way that we didn't feel good about for who we are and what our standards are. That was really frustrating. And then, the backboards, the far too many offensive rebounds that were hard to swallow. Not the long miss that gets tipped, and every once in a while the ball's the one where they were more physical than you to the ball within 2 or 3 feet when you get them to miss a shot. Those are a number of things that jumped out. Certainly, there's other one-offs over the course of the game, but those 3 things are the stuff that we got to hang our hat on, and that's how a game goes from a close game or a game you can manage to one that gets out of hand a little bit.
You've talked a lot, when in reference to Jizzle, of breaking down film with him in depth, looking at hours and hours of film. How much do you think he's been challenged by this recent stretch where it just seems that he's not producing as much offensively as your guys' point guard may need to be?
Listen, everybody's got to be better. The head coach has to be better. The staff has to be better. Every player's got to be better. Everybody's got to raise their level. I think the challenge is to not try to single out, like we just played very poorly, probably the worst game we've played all year. We did not feel like we played great in the previous 2 games, even though we had our chances. The challenge right now isn't to point fingers, because it is not that simple, right? There's no one person or one issue that can explain not playing well over the last 3 games. And guys, by the way, you can play really well in this league and lose 3 games in a row. That just hasn't been the case in this one, and that's the one that's hard to swallow. We have not played well and lost 3 games in a row. If we played great and lost 3 games in a row, we'd be discouraged, and I'd be sitting here saying, guys, we're playing great, we'll be all right. That's not how we feel. So does Jizzle need to play better? Heck yeah, but so does everybody. And does Do I need to coach better? Heck yeah, and so does every assistant coach. So, listen, we need all of our guys to raise their level. Am I worried about Jizzle, or is there a way to, get his shooting numbers better, for him to play the way we know he's capable of playing? It's like anything. There's no secret. Like Jizzle was in there with the full lather this morning, probably going harder than I'm comfortable with in January when we have another practice this afternoon. Jizzle's gonna. Everybody out there that follows our team, like if you're gonna take it on the chin, you want to take it on the chin with that kid. 'Cause he gives everything he's got. He's trying his tail off, and we've already seen how good he is. Just like the rest of them, he's coming. He's gonna break through, and there'll be some naysayers out there in the process. That's the fun part of this whole damn thing, because he'll break through.
Scott, JT.
You got a lot of guys you want to play. Do you reevaluate the subs after the first time out based on the recent results?
Yeah. We certainly look at our coaching decisions after every game. I think we always want to be consistent over a period of time. I don't ever want to be the guy that's changing every game, because I don't think players can be effective like that. We don't want to be a reactive coaching staff, and I think we do a nice job of that, and I think that gives players an opportunity to get real opportunity and real minutes and really develop. But over a course of time, we're going to evaluate that, and we have real data, real information, not just reactive information, and we'll adjust accordingly.
In the Baylor game, Dylan seen a little bit of minutes at the 5. Do you think that's something that could be implemented in the future, possibly?
He did not play minutes at the 5 at the Baylor game.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've done that a lot of games. But we did not get him in there in that way in the Baylor game. But yes, I mean, that's something that, we've done in some stretches this year, to go small and get a little faster and switch some things. But we did not do that in the Baylor game.
What's the challenge of Kansas?
Oh boy, they're the oldest team in the country, the most experienced team in the country. It's one of those things that they're a national championship contender, okay? And when you say that about a team, if that's what you say about a team, they're a national championship contender, and there's only a handful that probably people feel that way about. They present a load of challenges. The first thing is the depth and the experience, and the level of their players. I mean, you're talking about guys on their roster that were the leading scorers at other high major schools, other NCAA tournament teams a year ago. Okay, like they have a transfer that was the leading scorer on an NCAA tournament team that's playing limited minutes, right, in recent games. I mean, they are as deep as I've seen a college basketball team in recent memory in the portal era. I mean, it's truly remarkable at every single position. And again, other than Flory Badunga, they're all really old and really experienced, and not just experienced, and they've played a lot of college basketball. They've played a lot of high-level college basketball and had a lot of success in college basketball. That then obviously the coaching is at the highest level, and they play a style of play that puts a lot of pressure on you in transition. They put pressure on you at the rim. They have terrific rim presence defensively, and they don't make it easy to score early in possessions. I mean, they are for a reason they're considered one of the best teams in college basketball going into the year. They're still considered that now, so they present a world of challenges.
You mentioned that in the Big 12, every single game is a big game. When you play a brand like Kansas and get them on your home floor, do you get a sense just how big of a game this is for your fan base and how much interest there is in a game like this?
Yeah, I think if you have a pulse, I mean, I never sit up here and try to do anything but be honest with you guys. It's not like you go into the crosstown shootout and you don't realize that people are into that kind of a game. I mean, you have a pulse, you get it. If Kansas comes to town, people are going to be into the game. Yeah, there's a certain sense for the interest and the excitement for these types of games.
Chad, last one.
Without getting too into the weeds, is there anything teams are doing defensively to take you out of your offense? It looks like at times like that starting point, it's tough to kind of find a rhythm early. Is it something similar that they're doing, or how do you kind of assess that and get through that barrier?
Yeah, it hasn't been similar. Different teams are doing different things, but that people are trying to scheme us in non-traditional ways. That's been, I wouldn't say every night, but there's been some consistency there for sure.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.